right, so I just read The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Let's get into it. Okay, so if you frequent the finance space or the personal finance space or any self-development space here on YouTube, then at some point or another you would have run into the book titled The Psychology of Money. It's a cult classic, and almost every finance YouTuber or every self-development YouTuber is talking about it. And so why not talk about it? I saw it in the store the other day, decided to read it. Here we are. So rather than doing an entire synopsis on the book itself, I decided to pull 3 key takeaways that I think are the most important from the book itself. So the first point is that becoming wealthy and staying wealthy require 2 different skill sets. You would think that they're one of the same, but the author details that they're actually 2 different skill sets that need to be learned in order to achieve both these things. Becoming wealthy requires someone to become extremely risk adverse, try a bunch of things, take the biggest risk. This is when you need to have the biggest risk appetite. You need to essentially try things that you've never done before, try a bunch of things, see what sticks. Here, the saying is best implemented. You only need to be right once. And when it comes to becoming wealthy, that is the biggest theme here. So this is when you want to take the biggest risk in investing in the stocks, in yourself, take the biggest risk in investing in your business, take the biggest risks just when it comes to life. If it requires you to move to a different city to make more money, take that risk, do it now, and essentially you'll see the biggest gains, because the bigger the risk, the bigger the rewards. The smaller the risk, the smaller the rewards, generally speaking. However, when it comes to maintaining your wealth and not losing your wealth, he says that you need to know when to turn it off and not be so risk adverse. So what that means is once you've attained this wealth, once you've acquired this wealth, not risking everything. So in layman's terms, if you've built up a emergency fund, not sacrificing the entire emergency fund on a new venture or a new investment or a new business, because that is the quickest way to lose it all. So if the theme that applies to becoming wealthy is you only need to be right once, then the theme that applies to losing your wealth is you only need to be wrong once. And the author details that in order to strike the balance, in order to become wealthy and maintain your wealth, you need to master when to turn it on as well as to turn it off. You need to know when to jump and when not to jump, and learning these skill sets will benefit you greatly in the future. Number 2, plan to fail, give yourself room. So a lot of the times, the author details, it's very hard for us to predict what's gonna happen in the future. And so oftentimes what ends up happening is we get caught off guard by the thing that we never expected to happen, i.e. in not saving and then completely losing our job and then not having anything saved up, or a recession, or COVID like we've all experienced in the last few years. And what ends up happening is we almost always end up getting blindsided by a scenario that we never anticipated, and so we always get thrown for a loop. So the best way to combat this is to be a little bit fatalistic, to be a little bit extreme, always thinking the worst case scenarios. And this is something that I've already kind of adopted on my own. If you prepare to fail, or you prepare for the worst case scenario, you're prepared. So it doesn't mean being a pessimist, it doesn't mean thinking that you're going to fail. It just means if you're going to fail, if you get blindsided by something you cannot see, are you prepared? So rather than planning for the ups, which is what a lot of society tends to do, as the author details, we should be planning for the downs. Plan for the next storm so that you're ready. So if, for example, we put that into layman's terms, not saving and just spending all of your money because you think you're gonna have your job for an extended period of time, plan for the rainy days, plan to have savings, plan for something to go wrong so that if and when it does, you're covered. Number 3, so if your focus is on building generational wealth and not just looking rich, then the number 1 thing that you need to stop doing is stop making purchases, stop buying things that put you in competition with your peers. Essentially the saying, keeping up with the Joneses, you don't want to do that. You don't want to go out and buy the expensive car because everyone's doing it. You don't want to buy you don't want to buy designer clothes because everyone's doing that. Yes, you might look rich, but you're not actually gaining any wealth because you're sacrificing what could have been for an expensive car payment or an expensive bust-down watch. A lot of the times the author says that when we buy things to impress our friends or our peers or family members, whoever it may be, we don't actually want to do it because we want to impress them. We just want to feel better about ourselves. So if you can get that under control to actually save your money and put it towards something more useful. All right, so if you enjoyed that and you want to see more videos like this, comment, subscribe, leave a like. I try to post as regularly as I can, talking about finance videos, lifestyle videos, as well as fitness videos. Yeah, if you like that, join the community.